New card. What do you think?
Get over here!
Hadouken! That man is playing Galaga.
I understood that reference.
You shall not pass! So say we all.
So say we all. Ride with me.
It's adamantium tasting time, boys.
Well, make it so, number one.
All wings report in.
And welcome to your weekly interval. This is the Best Damn Nerd Show. I'm your host, Microphone Alchemist, and Jedi Master James Kincaid. With me tonight, Professor Chris Davis.
Oh, hey, oh, yeah, ooh, ha, ha, yeah, ooh, hey, James.
Lone Gunman, Patient Zero, welcome back, Chris Davis, and Chief Science Officer of Star Labs, who might be doing tests on Davis, Mark Trex.
I'm gonna dab him up. Dab.
Mark, the usual DC lapdog, but there's a lot of Marvel news. A lot of stuff coming out of the Mouse House this week for the Best Damn Nerd Show.
What?
But before we get into that, yeah, there's a ton of news that Mark hasn't read any. He's stayed up on none of it. So we're gonna get a lot of real rapid reaction from Mr. Truex tonight. So stay tuned for that.
Facebook knows I only want DC.
A supersized edition of Nerdgasm or Nogasm still to come on the show. But before we get to that, how you guys been? It's been a week. You know, I had a really good time with last week's episode. Davis, the response to your revelation about your harrowing ordeal, was pretty positive. You know,
Yeah,
it was nice. You're a hero.
I don't know if that's going to keep going because there's been quite the spike in the last 7 days, so people might think I had something to do with that. So that might not come back too well on me.
Yeah,
You're
California shutting down. Mark, what have you been up to?
Super spreader.
Super spreader, some would say.
That's going to be a nice super villain.
Me. I finished Doom Patrol Season 1.
God.
That's my only update. Doom Patrol Season 1 was delightful. So good. Can't wait to get into number 2.
Can you please watch The Mandalorian so you don't have to go on timeout when we discuss it on the show?
So the problem with The Mandalorian is that I watch it with my wife as well, which is great, but we don't always have time to watch things together.
Yeah, so Mark,
best,
you have to lie.
At best, we get one episode of something in, and we have shows that we're binging. We had to finish Outlander season 3.
Oh no, not
Dude,
over The Mandalorian.
No, Scott's on a boat.
I'm aware of Outlander. I too was once in a relationship and was forced to watch that show. But
dude, it was good. So much boofing.
I feel like you guys need another discussion on priorities.
Yeah, seriously,
and then
man.
we've been watching The Undoing.
Renew your vows, and this time include that you'll either watch The Mandalorian with me, or I can watch it without you.
Well, you see, the thing is a new episode comes out on Fridays, right?
Yes,
and you got to watch it fresh. And if you don't watch it fresh, it loses that allure of new. And so it's just kind of like, we'll get to it.
Look, a little peek behind the curtain here. We're recording on Friday night.
Yeah, so I can't watch it.
I would like to discuss the show.
Because we've already claimed how much you keep up on news that you have to watch it on Friday.
Yes.
I just would like to get to a point.
Dude, it's like old TV. You can't make it. Is it?
Yes.
It's been that many. So I saw Starbuck.
Yes.
I saw her. Katie Sackhoff. There she is.
Yeah, Cara Thrace. Yes.
Yeah, Cara Thrace. Sure.
You're like 3 weeks late. That's all right.
And that was cool. She flew
but Mark,
around, and Sasha Banks was there just smugging.
Not to go over plowed ground about what we have already discussed previously about The Mandalorian. However, Mark, I did think about you during that episode because of the use of the alien race, the Quarrens, and our mutual affinity for Star Wars Tales from Jabba's Palace. I, of course, thought of the famous Quarren Tessic, right? Did you not think of him as well? Or no? Am I alone in that Fuck
No.
you then, Mark.
Yeah, no, I don't think he remembers a peep of
Nothing.
that.
You remember nothing. Star Wars card game, Tessic,
I like
Clarence,
the card game. CCG.
Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Tyree,
We'll do an episode on
Gold 2.
We'll do an episode on that eventually. All right. Would you please just watch The Mandalorian?
I will. I want to. Yes. The will is there. Hell, maybe I'll watch it this week. But it's also Christmas time, so we got to watch like Christmas movies.
I grant you that.
There's Die Hard.
Okay.
You gotta get that in. There's Christmas Chronicles. Great movie.
I had my
Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
And again, another peek behind the curtain. We will be doing a Christmas special here on the Best Damn Nerd Show. I'm very, very excited for that. We're going to talk about our favorite Christmas movies, what we love getting as, toys as kids, favorite Christmas music, all that good stuff. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Will be a featured segment on the show. So stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to do a Christmas episode. We're going to do an end of 2020 episode, all still to come. Mark, watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Fucking watch it.
I'm in. I have been.
The episodes aren't that long. they're like 40 minutes max.
Dude, but it's so episodic.
You get one a week.
It's like
you
I
get
can watch it whenever I want.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much. You used to watch Arrow with us. What happened to you, man?
I finished
soft.
Arrow. I
That wasn't
finished
the mouse.
Arrow, and y'all quit on me. I watched all 8.
Yeah, well, that's your mistake. If you could only watch all 8 singular episodes of The Mandalorian that are coming out, it's like, good lord.
I feel like Arrow 8 seasons put you behind on everything else, and that
Now
in
you're watching
turn
Doom
has put
Patrol.
you behind on the Mandalorian. So the Arrow is actually responsible for you screwing up right now.
No, I caught up with Arrow as it went every year. Every year. He became the Spectre. Spoilers.
Yeah,
now
they're rebooting it.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Apparently, they're going to be rebooting it without him. All right, Davis, I want to circle back to you because you were hopping on that old Twitch stream, as was I this week, but you were doing something much more exciting, whereas I was just, sharing all of my insecurities online. You were streaming that newfangled video game, Cyberpunk 2077. What did you think? I enjoyed watching you on the Twitch stream. My favorite part had to be the exploration of the Davis dong. Your junk was that was interesting.
That wasn't expected. So I went into the stream thinking that most of it was you'll find out.
Breaking
most
more
of the
news
stream
Mark.
was probably going to be around my character creation because it could take some time to get that right. You don't want to screw it up. You're going to be putting
that's your character for the whole game.
Yeah, I mean we're talking about 100, 160 hours possibly here. So if that's going to be your character, you want to make it good. But what I didn't know was how deep some of the creation went. I did see from some social media posts that the game has been buggy a little bit around the edges, and I have experienced some of that. And some of the posts were like genitals or breasts coming through clothes as they create the character. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like that happens when you're like trying on new clothes or testing stuff out. Cool. But no, you're in the character creation and you get to the bottom of the list and you get to pick your genital size and what type of genitals you have. So you can hang massive dongs.
And what kind of STDs you have.
Or you can just, be having a little pinky. And, there was some discussion in the Discord and on the Twitch about what we should be doing. John Craig had different ideas than James, and one more realistic. One definitely did not. So
you go massive, bro. You got to go massive, dude.
You gotta lay pipe.
This is your chance to live out a fantasy. You don't want to, you gotta go.
Let's
massive.
just say I had to make them true to character because I tried to make myself as close as I could. So
you did a pretty good job too. I gotta say, in terms of how your face looks and everything, like that kind of looks like a futuristic Davis.
Why would you get to
pink
customize
fingernails.
that? Why?
I agree, Mark. It's bizarre.
I haven't
add
found
to
out
like his
yet.
charisma.
It was
or
hilarious.
anything?
Mark, you don't even understand. It was hilarious watching Davis like even rotate the character while he was on that part of the screen too, because it's just flat. It's just going.
We were trying to do a little helicopter dick with it, but it wasn't working.
Little flaccid buddy is just going with going with how Davis is moving his character. It was hilarious. It was
And
ridiculous.
it looked like as smaller as that you weren't cut. You weren't circumcised. So it was interesting. It was like if you were small, you weren't circumcised, but if you're big, you were. I don't know what
Interesting. Just
So-
nuances and layers to this game already.
So has that come into play in the gameplay yet? Like, are you hooking up with people and they're like commenting and like opening extra doors for you and stuff like that as a character goes?
I mean, my guy is pretty confident. I will say that, but I don't know if that changed based on that. I haven't played a guy with a tiny one yet.
Yeah,
so.
you're like bluff skill and just your overall like how you carry yourself in the game is just like it's just way easier for you because you got that BDE, bro.
Well, if you just got a pipe under your jeans, people might just step aside.
You got that big dick energy, man. That you're just rolling into every
Does
situation.
it slow
with.
you
They're
down
like,
when you
nah,
run?
Fuck, we gotta listen to this guy. I know he's got pink fingernails, but there's something about him. Yeah, he gave himself hot pink fingernails too. Or
It's
nail
all about
polish.
the hot pink fingernails. It exudes confidence. So, along with the big dick energy. So.
Yeah, you're very confident. You're just very secure with yourself.
Yeah, but on the tats and the piercings, I'm not a big tat piercing guy right now. I put a little piercing in, but I didn't like many of the tats. So I'm hoping just in the ear, got a little diamond stud.
Could you choose anywhere?
Crazy. No, there were certain spots.
Yeah, could you pierce the junk?
Yeah, could you do a Prince
Explore
Albert?
that option?
I was wondering where one of the options went because I didn't see any changes, so maybe that's where it went. And it just didn't show
dude.
me. That could have been an option now that I think about it. Yeah, maybe.
I was disappointed.
I was
that you
thinking the
didn't go
updates.
I was
will happen.
disappointed that you didn't go with the face tats.
I'm just not a tat guy.
I wanted you to go like very post Malone, a post-apocalyptic Malone.
There
kind of
was
guy.
one tat I really liked. It was a big snake chest tat, but I hate snakes, so it just wouldn't be true to me. It wouldn't make sense unless I'm like trying to be like Batman, where I'm trying to overcome it. So I just embrace it.
Yeah, King Snake. I get it.
Yeah, you have to become what you fear the most. So you gave yourself a tiny dong.
Well, I will say I was a little disappointed in the character creation. You couldn't change like your body type,
But
how
you can
big you were.
change your dick.
Right. There's very specific things that you could change where you would think that you could change like overweight, how tall you are. Yeah, there was just a few things that were just weird that they left out.
How about the actual? So I mean, we've explored thoroughly. Yes, we're 12 years old, and I thank you for sticking with us to this point in the podcast. How did you like the actual game itself? Because I wasn't really necessarily super impressed with what I saw so far.
So I've played about 3.5 hours right now, and the least impressive part was probably what I spent the most time on. What you guys saw was like the tutorial stuff.
Oh, it was fucking brutal.
It was a little glitchy. The graphics weren't great. And I was just like, the controls are very Euro. I will say that. Like when you pick up a Euro game, it's like a Euro board game. It's just set out differently, and it's not as fluid. So you have to. So I changed some of the controls around today to make sure that it was kind of more fluid to how I play. But you could tell it's like a Euro build. So that was interesting. But once you get into Night City, which
that did look cool. And I did like the montage of you guys like being all debaucherous and shit like that.
Yeah. And then, so what I played today a little bit was like our boy Jackie that we met in the stream. He's like this big beefcake guy that we did a job with early on.
Oh, is he the guy that didn't have the money to pay you?
Yeah.
How much
So we're like
beef?
we're super bros now.
Nice. I told you I liked him and he'd be a good mate.
Good dude. I'm coming around to Jackie, old Jack. But he like kind of chauffeured me around Night City a little bit, and so you got to see the city and just how they put it together. It's very interesting, very cool, very what you would expect in the future. I feel like, and there's one scene where these 3 individuals try to hijack a car at a stoplight that you drove by, and you were stopped, and this huge police copter just comes in. These guys like rope down and just shotgun the shit out of these guys and just take their ass out right in front of you. And Jackie's like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to mess with those guys." That was big time. So I'm thinking later in the game you're gonna have to go against those guys quite a bit. But no, it's been good. It's gotten a lot better. It's still, I did come across one time where the game just crapped out. And so right now people are, saying that it's really buggy and they're pissed. And honestly, a lot, it released, people are saying because of the fans. It did release because of the fans and because it's taken so long. It released because of the investors. They wanted this to come out this year at the holiday time. It has been in development forever. And they're like, okay, well, it's at a point now we believe where we can, fix these bugs enough to where it's going to be playable. But things are coming up.
Yeah, I mean, they'll fix them. I mean, for me as an Elder Scrolls player and everything like that, that is, bugs in games like that are sort of something that you come to expect. There were times in Morrowind where there'd be a bug that could just kill entire quest lines, which for me as a quester was just a horrifying experience. But even in Skyrim and stuff like that, there's tons of glitches and things like that. But I think for a Bethesda Elder Scrolls player, you just comes with the territory a little bit, right?
Yeah, especially for Bethesda and CD Projekt Red, who built this game, who did the Witcher series. When that game released, there was tons of bugs too. But this company cares so much about its community, its product,
its bottom line.
Yes, but they do a great job of just being so appreciative of its players and its fans, and doing things the right way. They're not going to charge for DLC. They're making a whole bunch of extra stories. They're going to release it later. They love their projects so much, and they do so much to them. They're one of the most respected, I think, and I think people need them to cut them a little bit of slack right now, because they are going to fix it.
Have you met Keanu yet in it?
No, I have not. So that should be interesting. Maybe I can show him my massive dong.
Yeah, so that hasn't.
I bet his is already bigger in the game, and you can't customize your character to get bigger than his.
He shouldn't be. Yeah, that's right, dude.
That was part of his contract. Mine's the biggest.
So overall, you're into it, and you're going to continue to stream it on Twitch on it's twitch.tv/thebdns if you'd like to subscribe on Twitch.
Probably get on it a little bit more tonight. So.
Well, they won't hear this until much later.
Well, maybe it'll be that night when they hear it, because I'm going to be playing it a shit ton. So.
Yeah, hop on Twitch and we might be on. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch more as well. I got hooked up thanks to Final Boss Chris Seglia with a actual PC laptop that is much better for the streaming of computer games and whatnot. And I just ordered a new webcam because I wanted to test it out, and the webcam was a little glitchy. So I went in the Just for Chatting Twitch the other night, which was fun. I got to show off some things in my office a little bit, and talk about how much SNL sucks lately. But I'm going to start...
SNL hater.
It's crap, dude. It's not funny. But I'm going to start streaming again. I really do like going on Twitch and interacting with everyone. So John Craig was helping me get my scene set up. Go ahead, Mark. You look like you have
What's a Just for Chat?
It's exactly what you just said.
I don't Twitch. I'm not a
Just
Twitcher.
Chatting. It's a channel where it's basically, if you're not like playing anything or whatnot, you're just in there just chatting, and people come into the chat room.
It's kind of like an OnlyFans.
Oh,
it's not like an
now
OnlyFans.
I get it. Now I'm
I guess technically there are OnlyFans in there, but I feel like a couple of randos wandered in and started asking about wrestling, which was cool because they saw the stuff behind me in my office. But yeah, so I'm going to start streaming some more games again. I'm gonna restream Emily Is Away, do it proper with some drinking and some more, maybe pepper in some more personal stories from the saga that is my life. Then take
I don't know if people can handle that.
That should be on the Patreon.
It should be. Take you into Emily is Away 2. That's TOO. And then hopefully I got looking to see if that third one's ever coming out still, you know. But yeah, we'll get that going on. Emily is Away 2 is also phenomenal. And there's some cool things that you can do in that. So yeah, we're gonna be twitching up a storm here.
When is Emily is Away 2 set?
It's a little bit after Emily is Away, so the references are a few years after Emily is Away. But
we're talking after university.
It's actually, I think no. You're still senior year, and I feel like because I remember one of the avatars you can make your AOL thing is V for Vendetta again. So I think it's set probably like 06 or something like that. I want to say. But man, yeah,
it's more social media based instead of AIM.
Well, that's going to be the next one. No, it's still AIM based. The Emily is Away 2 does some things with, they built out a whole fake YouTube, and it's spelled TOOB. So you click on, like, the Emily and the other people in this game will send you links to music or like me. It's like there's more memes in it too. So like you'll click a link and it's the sneezing panda or stuff like that. Like it's crazy some of the things that they put into it, and like some things like really hit like the nostalgia on the head. Like and I won't give anything away, but the song and performance that they link you to at the end, just tears, a couple tears just streaming down my face.
Third Eye Blind?
No, it's not Third Eye Blind, but it's just so appropriate after everything you've gone through. Anyway, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing some more stuff on Twitch. Let's take a break. On the other side, it's Mark's favorite time of year because we're going to be talking about, it's the season, it's the holiday season, Christmas coming up, Hanukkah, everything going on. People love to get toys as presents, right? So we're going to be talking about the Toy Hall of Fame on the other side in the Best Damn Nerd Show. What terrible inductees did they dust off for 2020? Talking Toy Hall of Fame on the other side.
Hey everyone, Chris Eglia here, CEO of the Tenno Media Network. I would like to say thank you for checking out one of our podcasts, but we need your help. You can support Tenno in a multitude of ways. By going to our website and checking out our latest podcasts, by buying some sweet merch, joining our Discord, or getting early and exclusive access to all content via our Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and you can find everything on our website, www.ten-o.gg. That's ten-o.gg. Thank you again, and now, back to the show.
It's the microphone alchemist Bimbo Jimbo here, of course, formerly the Jedi Master, and we are so happy to be back delivering to you the nerdy content that you need to make it through your Muggle work week. And we want to hear from you, Nerdosphere, so be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Zunes, or other non-name brand MP3 playing devices everywhere, or however you consume your weekly interval. Whether you agree with me that The Last Jedi was a crime against Star Wars, or that you think that my hosting warrants being mauled by a bear, leave us a 5-star review, make us laugh, smile, or cry in that review, and there is a good chance that you will hear it read on a future episode of the Best Damn Nerd Show. So be sure to rate and review us. It's the best way that you can help the BDNS keep saying it loud and proud for years to come.
It's me, Iron Nerd Min-Maxer, Hanzo Gonzo, inviting you into the Tenno Media Arena to see whose nerdiness will reign we're gonna get sued. Will triumph a lotly. Come check out all the battles on the Tenno Media Network Patreon, or you can just skip to the parts where Steve physically breaks something for no reason. See you there.
And welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid here with Mark Trix, Chris Davis, and we are having a spirited discussion in the break there about the Toy Hall of Fame, what should should not be included. And if you're longtime fans of the show, pre-boot, if you will know that we've talked about the Toy Hall of Fame on multiple occasions on the Best Damn Nerd Show. I am so thrilled to be talking about it for the first time on this new iteration here with Mark Trex, who has always been the champion of bringing this up on the show whenever possible. And we always forget about the nominations and stuff like that. But you know what? It works in December, too, because, again, it's the season of giving. We're talking about toys, Toy Hall of Fame. So without any further ado,
friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
I was talking to Mark about this off air. I remember way back when we had like one of the curators or whatever for the Toy Hall of Fame come on, and he's like, yeah, I listened to your last episode when you talked about us. And he's like, that was pretty interesting, like, because we'd completely shit all over what they were doing and having like a debate about it. So
because we read off some of their last inductees, and they kind of deserved it.
Dude, they all fit.
Very nice, man. They don't all fit. They don't all fit. But let's get into the inductees for 2020. God, and it's such a 2020 list, let me tell you. Baby Nancy, Jenga, and Sidewalk Chalk.
Classics.
What a cricket-inducing inductee list that is. Davis, what's your thoughts on the 2020 Toy Hall of Fame inductees?
I mean, it kind of fits because you got Jenga, which is just a crumbling tower, which kind of represents our society at the moment, and then you got Sidewalk Chalk, which is kids love it, and I love Sidewalk Chalk. I will say I love Sidewalk Chalk. I'm a terrible artist, but we used a lot of it, and as a kid we had a big driveway.
I hated Sidewalk Chalk. I hate the way it feels on my fingers. I don't like it.
You never like to get your hands dirty, do you, James?
I can't draw for shit. That's why with Worlds Collide Comics, Mark was the artist and I was the creative mastermind. And then
Jenga kind of goes with every generation right now because you
already said Jenga. Baby Nancy's the other one.
I know, but and you got the drinking Jenga too, where you can ride on it. So it's good for all generations. Baby Nancy. I don't know what that is. So how is it making the Toy Hall of Fame?
That's your privilege, Chris. I need you to check it. So what's great about the Toy Hall of Fame is that it constantly is inducting toys and things that were revolutionary, kind of broke boundaries or things like that. That's why it's like when we first talked about this, it's things like box, stick, paper.
So stupid.
But hey, as a father of a 3-year-old, she loves box and stick.
Yeah, I know. You sent me that photo. You can carry the water all you want for the Toy Hall of Fame, Mark. It's so stupid.
But also, like, beyond that too, it's all these things that have paved way for different parts of toys. It's the Toy Hall of Fame. You want to be like the first on the line to do things like that. So you look at some of these things like playing cards. You look at like when you think video game systems, there's the Atari and then there's the Game Boy on here, revolutionizing handhelds. And the thing with the Baby Nancy is it was a toy designed in the Black community to represent for them and not just be a color washed doll.
Yeah, palette swap doll. Yeah,
exactly. And that's a big thing when you think about inclusion in play and things like that, without getting too deep into,
Yeah,
stuff.
Davis, check your privilege.
I will say, I'm surprised Sidewalk Chalk took this long to get.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
I'm surprised. I mean, look at everything else that's on the list. It's a perfect contender for the Toy Hall of Fame. I mean, who doesn't like a rousing game of hopscotch?
Just go work for them.
Dude, I would curate a Toy Hall of Fame.
I am surprised they didn't go in earlier with their with their early inductees. I'm surprised
let's take a look at their first class. Barbie crayons. I mean, classics right there. Erector set, Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if I'd put Etch-a-Sketch in my inaugural class. Frisbee, Legos, great. Marbles, Monopoly, Play-Doh, Teddy Bear, and Tinker Toy. I mean, those are some pretty big hitters. And then, the next year you had the Yo-Yo, the Hula Hoop, Lincoln Logs, the Radio Flyer, roller skates, and Viewmaster. I mean,
love a Viewmaster.
2008, we had Stick. Mark's favorite inductee.
Dude, I was playing some Stick earlier tonight with 2 3-year-olds, and it was a great time. We were playing we were playing Pinata. It sounded weird the other way.
We had Stick Wars growing up in the forest, and it was like guns, but with sticks. We just throw sticks at each other. If you got hit, you're probably done for the day. But you were out.
Or lightsabers.
When did Box go in? That's what I'm trying to find when they put the friggin' Cardboard Box 2005.
How as a Calvin and Hobbes fan can you be so against the Box induction?
Because I have no problem with playing with the box, but this is supposed to be inducting things that are specified as toys, that were marketed and sold as toys. The box was not ever done that. You're inducting a child's imagination.
It's the Museum of Play.
Yeah, but this is the Toy Hall of Fame.
Is anything that is implemented as a tool for play.
Okay, so let me counter with that as somebody that's an avid Sports Hall of Fame person. You go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You can go into the plaque room, which is all the Hall of Fame baseball players, the ones that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. The rest of the museum represents the history of the entire league. So you want to talk about the Museum of Play, by all means talk about the box and playing with the sticks, but you don't induct it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, big hitter. Spaceship.
No. Anyway, but let's go back to 2020.
If I knew sport references, I'd pull out some names.
Hey, you like the Angels?
Yeah, Tim Salmon.
Jenga, it just feels like a really weak class to me.
Well, I feel like Jenga has never been hotter because of the bar scene thriving with hipsters.
Which are closed right now.
And everyone's missing it. Everyone's missing it. But honestly, it's like Jenga. It's fun. Tabletop and fun. But getting to play it while drinking outside, awesome. Really fun.
For one playthrough, then I'm just done. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that tower fell down. I do not want to pick those pieces up.
That's what the staff is for.
And like giant Jenga, just like the rattling noise if you're not playing when you're trying to just enjoy a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah, it's loud and it's very obnoxious.
But you always get that collective Jenga from the crew, and it sets it all right.
Yeah, and you get the one person that is like meticulously, just like not even taking chances. It's just like,
dude, how do you? Are you a tester?
Poke.
You test poking.
You can't once you test one, you have to push that one. You pick one and you go with it. You don't get to test.
So you have to predetermine without touch or feel exactly which log you taken.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, it's pretty strict. That's some Eureka rules.
Eureka rules are strong.
I agree. It's one-handed, and once you find it, you must finesse with the one hand. Yeah. But you gotta touch and prod. You gotta find what fits. You gotta find your jive. You know what I mean?
A brick touched is a brick pushed. So.
That's pretty strict. How about last year's though? I wish we got to talk about this class. Coloring book, not really a toy, but an activity. I'll let it slide. Magic the Gathering, classic, so good. Matchbox cars, also fun.
Gotta say, those are pretty
much
good.
Much better class.
That's a much better class.
Magic, though, again, do you think it would be here if it didn't have a revitalization? I mean, it is like the card game, I guess, of longevity, right?
Pokemon? I
mean, I don't know. No.
Both are
for Hall of Fame? No, I mean, maybe if you go into like a video game Hall of Fame, I'd give a Pokemon out there. But the Game Boy is already on this.
Pokemon cards, I'd say, were... without sounding too much like an idiot, I'd say Pokemon cards are bigger than the video games.
What? Really?
Yeah.
No.
I think they have more lasting power.
No, I don't think so.
It stemmed from the cards, right?
No, it started in the game.
It started with the game, bro.
Did the game start it?
Yeah.
Red
God, I
and
hate
blue.
God, I hate Pokemon.
Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue. Future
Pokemon
BDNS
I could have
debate.
swore it started with the cards.
Atari is in here. Nintendo Game Boy is in here. Where's the Nintendo Entertainment System?
You don't need it.
pretty
You already
sure
have Atari.
Yeah, but if you put Game Boy in, I feel like
Because of
Nintendo-
handheld.
that was-
Again, the Hall of Fame is you want people that are breaking boundaries for this stuff. Know what I mean? You want things that are busting down walls and making a name for themselves, not just riding the coattails like the Super NES did on Sega. All right,
We already had
you want
that
things
debate,
that
Mark.
are already coming.
Tell me again about how Punch Out was on Sega, you dunce.
Dude, Evander Holyfield is a very good boxer too.
He is.
He just didn't bite no ears.
You day late and $1 short, son of a bitch. But anyway, I bring up the Atari and the Game Boy being in there because the Discord discourse has been ablaze with talking about this console bracket that we propose. A lot of back and forth. A lot of some people calling for blood. We even got a Dear Nerdy over this console bracket and whether or not to include the handhelds. So this comes to us from the Gay Florida Nerd. Dear Nerdy, my dear friends of about a decade who I have never met want to make an upcoming onslaught of video game competition into something antiseptic and sad. How can I convince them to just let the massacre occur unencumbered by rules and logic? Thanks. And I love the new theme song, though I do miss the muse. That comes to us from Gay Florida Nerd, who is very pro just including everything in this bracket and, as you would say, letting the bodies hit the floor. So have we gotten any sort of clarity on what to do with this bracket? I feel it's, I don't know, I'm at a loss here.
I think it's been clouded even more, to be quiet. Yeah. I don't think we should have opened it up. I think that was a mistake. Because now I think we're just going to piss a lot of people off.
What about Tiger
Either
handhelds?
way.
Are those considered? Tiger.
Well, that's what Jeff wants. He said he's going Tiger handhelds all the way if that happens.
Dude, that Michael Keaton Batman game was so hard. So hard.
I am coming around to the handhelds. I think if we go that way, I still think we could have our own handheld bracket. There's plenty of them.
There are plenty of them, but do we want to circle back to it when there's probably so many other things that we could do that are much more different than video games, like consoles and stuff like that? Like I would sooner want to have, as I think Riku suggested, like greatest video game bracket, to really have people just getting up in arms about who was included and who was left off kind of deal, than going back and be like, okay, we did consoles, and next year we're doing handhelds. Just kind of, I don't know, leaves me a little flat. But I'm coming more and more to agree with like John pitching out the conferences, so like Nintendo has their own conference, Xbox or Microsoft, maybe they have their own, Sega can have their own with Dreamcast and Genesis. And if anything else made it.
Yeah. Cause you'd have Nintendo, PlayStation, probably Microsoft, and then kind of like a mid-major conference. If you're going to talk March Madness, and that's just kind of the mishmash of teams, which would be interesting. Probably would be some interesting battles, but I think they'd get absolutely demolished once they got to the Final Four. But I could be wrong.
Might be interesting though. I don't know. It's show canon now. We announced it, so we have to make some decisions here coming up. So. We all got to make our list. I think 32 might be the way to go, though.
32 bits?
Or 32. And 32 selection, or we do 24? What are we doing?
You have to do 16 or 32, because if you do anything in between, there's buys.
I'm not opposed to buys, though.
I am. No legit bracket has buys. And I think if you have 32, it's going to get... it's going to be very obvious in the first round who's going to win, who's going to lose. And I think you can probably just get the power 16 and make this like a heavy hitter matchup pretty much from the get-go.
Interesting.
But
Could be.
you might not have any, fan flavored sleepers in there either, like the Jaguar and all that good stuff.
I got a little distracted in the Discord too, because we are also doing a Secret Santa here at the Best Damn Nerd Show, and so among us hosts, including the irreplaceable Adam Zika. So but apparently somebody forgot to put BD&S on the Amazon package order sent to Chris Seglia. They sent him some type of boob Street Fighter mouse pad, I guess was the gift. Who doesn't love a great Secret Santa, though? Might have to share that out. I also will note that without giving away who I got my gift for, I too forgot to put a note on their gift. So now that I think of it, so I don't know. I don't know who sent that to Segs, whether or not it was one of us or not remains to be seen. Who doesn't love a great Secret Santa?
If they do that, then they do know when it gets delivered. So you can send an anonymous or just put something in there in our Secret Santa app and just say, hey, you should be expecting your package. Don't open it.
Yeah, well, thank you for organizing the Secret Santa, Davis. I think it was a great idea, and hopefully everybody gets their stuff for our Christmas episode, and we can talk about what we got or not, or I'll just share with the person what I got them. Although, yeah, it remains to be seen who can even make it on.
Maybe it's going to be something from the Toy Hall of Fame. Who knows?
It could be a Jenga or a Baby Nancy or what was the other one?
Let's just send Mark. Let's just send Mark a box of sticks, and then he gets 2 toys.
Yeah, well, that is true.
Dude, are they like popsicle sticks? You can do all kinds of construction projects with those.
Two Hall of Famers stick.
Well, Mark will already get 2 toys because it's gonna come in a box. So
really,
he already has the box.
Stick against a transmetal. Oh. God dang. Mark, you got anything else you want to say about the Toy Hall of Fame before we go to break?
I think it's wonderful, and I swear to God, I hope we actually start contributing into the nominees, because that's a great thing, listeners. If you're out there, you can actually nominate who's going into the bucket to be chosen. And I forget if they even do like a voting each year. I forget if there is that to help impart where like the council ultimately decides or not.
I think you get to vote on the final. I think you get to vote on the finalists, because I did vote one year, and
is that like when
I think we need to start having
something?
We need to start having a say in this and get our Discord behind the vote.
We need to start our own Hall of Fame.
Dude, all I know is GAC.
With hookers and beer. I agree.
GAC.
Yeah, Hooker goes into the Toy Hall of Fame. Our first inductee's a blow-up doll.
Dude, fleshlights or the other kind, they are toys. They're revolutionary.
They're breaking boundaries, Mark. They're breaking boundaries. The Museum of Play.
You know what? Can't fault it.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna take one more break. On the other side, we're actually gonna talk about what maybe people are talking about beyond just us 3 idiots. We're going to have a supersized edition of Nerdgasm or Nogasm, because a lot of news broke this week. There are a lot of things that we want to discuss here. We're not going to even have time to get to them all. I think somebody in Discord even joked that this would have to be a 3-hour episode to do that. But Mark, yeah, you're going to be learning some stuff on the other side on the Best Damn Nerd Show. It's the microphone alchemist Bimbo Jimbo here, and when I'm not verbally super kicking Last Jedi fans on the Best Damn Nerd Show, or fantasy casting The Rock in another movie on the DLC, well, that's when I actually get to talk about wrestling. That's right, come join me in the Wrestling War Room, where I take my mic to the mat and launch my hot takes about the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT. The Wrestling War Room, which side are you on?
Hey guys, it's the loquacious anime and manga lover Jahns here. Now I have watched a lot of anime and I've read an abundance of manga, so you would think that I have a pretty interesting opinion on the culture. From classics like Golden Boy and Ghost in the Shell to masterpieces such as Psycho Pass and Gantz. Come and join me as I talk about the world of anime and manga, which has had a huge impact on my life. And who knows, whatever I talk about and recommend to you guys could become one of your favorite series.
Ammo with jammers.
Hey nerd. Lore Master Tim here, and I've come with a rather indecent proposal. We want you to join in the conversation. If you aren't already a member of our Discord, what are you even doing? You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheBDNS. And if you're crazy, odds are we'll talk about it on the show, so get kooky, and above all, let's get nerdy.
And welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid, Chris Davis, Mark Truex back for one final segment and one giant-sized nerdgasm or nogasm.
Thick.
It's there's a lot to discuss. Most of it news to Mark.
Someone call it a thick docket.
Is this okay? I forgot to bring up eggnog with you in the last subject, Mark. In the last segment, rather, but eggnog, Mark. Nerdgasm or nogasm? I guess.
Nerdgasm. Love nog. It's the greatest thing of this part of the year season.
You love a good nog.
Love nog. Love good nog.
Yeah.
Love
Davis,
a good nog.
Are you a nerdgasm or nogasm on eggnog, bro?
Hard nogasm.
Nogasm.
You wanna get that nog in there? You better tap some Jaeger in there. Get that Jaeger nog.
That is possibly like the worst thing you could mix with eggnog.
True homeless drink for you right there.
That sounds disgusting.
That's what they give the homeless on the holidays when they
Minty
come
herbal
get their meal
egg milk
on Christmas. It's just Jaeger and nog.
No. Like, nog doesn't need to be adulterated, but when you do, it can be delicious. But you got to go brandy, you got to go bourbon, you got to go dark rums. That's what you get.
Give me that
Jaeger.
Give me that German street Jaeger.
God, what is wrong with you, Davis?
I mean, it's already disgusting. Just add something else disgusting to it.
I like a good eggnog. I'm going nerdgasm on a good eggnog. I would love to be down in Southern California with Mark Truex having a nice cup of eggnog. You know,
dude, drink some nog. It's perfect. That's what my Batman Forever cups are for drinking nog. Those chiseled glass Batman cups.
I love
perfect noggin cups, dude. Yeah,
that's right.
Way back when, they're perfect nog cups, dude.
His cups are made
for a
noggin.
terrible drink.
It's not terrible.
Batman Forever is great, as is eggnog. Who loves eggnog? Me. And me.
All right, let's get into what we actually had to set out to discuss here at Nerdgasm or Nogasm. But the gaming awards happened this week, and there were buckets of announcements to go along with the awards and everything like that. And a couple that jumped out to me. And if I miss anything, I apologize. There's so much to go through here.
So is this like the Toy Hall of Fame, but for games?
It's much better and much more legitimate. So the first one I'm going to throw out though is a teaser for a new Mass Effect installment. Nerdgasm or Nogasm, Davis?
No. Nogasm. I'm done with that. I'm done with that series. Mass Effect kind of screwed us at the end of Mass Effect 3, I think. It's left a bad taste in my mouth. I can't say I will definitely not play it, but I guarantee it will be a free game at some point, and that's when I might pick it up. The world is great. I love the aliens and all that, but let's move on. They've made 3. It's a trilogy. That's great. Let's do something else.
Man, Mark, I'm in a little bit. I'm surprised to hear that, Davis. You don't want them to try and maybe wash out that bad taste and redeem themselves for what other than the ending and otherwise just amazing franchise.
I get really tired of a game.
And again, the ending. What were people complaining about? That it was too on rails at the end.
I did not appreciate the story that it kind of finished with. It was very unsatisfying, and when you're unsatisfied, you don't have a gasm, James. There's no nerdgasm to be had.
No gasm. You don't want to see them. Mark, I don't know how into Mass Effect you are, but nerdgasm or no gasm?
Oh, I'm gonna give this a hard nerdgasm.
Nice.
Hard nerdgasm. I do like Mass Effect. I like Mass Effect a lot, but I have a dirty secret to share. I never finished number 3. I'm still mid-play, and it's been years. I love number 1, love number 2, wanted a 360 just so I could play number 3. I've read the books that have come out. I've read all the comics that have released.
I didn't know that.
I love Mass Effect. I love the world. I love the characters. And I just never finished number 3, to be perfectly honest. And I had heard people talk shit and say that they didn't like where it ended up going. And I had such a fun time. But at the time I got that, there's been a lot going on. And now I'm not sure where I have. Because I'm a quester, much like you, James. And I need all the conversation topics chosen. I'm not going to just pick and cherry and go through. I'm like, well, I want to know more about your homeworld. Tell me
Absolutely,
about it.
Dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we got to mine. We got to mine this planet. See what's over here.
Something really cool. Something really cool could be there.
Yeah, maybe there's just some extra minerals I need.
It doesn't matter though, dude. It could be something else.
Could have been. Could have been a down satellite probe. Maybe you got to go investigate. You got to pull out the rover.
Yeah, dude. Maybe you got to kill some more of those Cerberus a-holes, you know?
Yeah, maybe I get to hook up with multiple characters. I don't know.
You're like a Game of Thrones fan that stopped watching after season 6. You still love it because you didn't finish it.
I still liked Game of Thrones.
Damn it, Mark. We were so close to being in agreement.
I love the Mass Effects, and this is making me feel like I got to go back and finish number 3 now, and it's actually kind of exciting to think about. Number 4, sign me up. That's news to me.
Mark, quit trying. This segment is Nerdgasm or Nogasm, not that's news to me. Although I do appreciate your zeal to try and bogart this topic to where you're trying to make your lack of preparedness seem like that it's a thing. It's not a thing. You're just unprepared. You're completely unprepared. I'm going Nerdgasm here, though. I'm siding with Mark. I think that there are a lot of game franchises that stick around too long, and there's no more meat left on the bone, and they're just splintering it and ruining what was once an innovative franchise. I'm looking at you, Assassin's Creed, but they're just too much. Give it a rest already. But Mass Effect, no, I love the Mass Effect series. I don't think it's been overdone yet, and I think enough time has passed now to where any of the sins that people perceive from Mass Effect 3 can be washed away with a solid new installment. I too, like Mark, I really enjoyed those games. The first one's still my favorite. It'll always be special to me. I really, just got so into it. And like Mark, you got to explore everywhere. I might boot Mass Effect 1 up again, and play through it. But those are great games. So I'm going to a big time Nerdgasm for a new Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And now another one that's sort of personal to me and people of a certain generation. A new Perfect Dark announcement. The N64 Classic, as discussed in our first-person shooter episode. Mark Truex, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
Nerdgasm. That's news to me. I had no idea. I can't believe they would have even brought that back.
Happen, Mark. It's never going to happen.
I had no idea that would ever be touched again. And I think that's awesome. Why not? Why not, dude? Everything retro is cool. Everything cool is retro. Let's play some Perfect Dark. It's just like GoldenEye, but better.
Were you a big fan of Perfect Dark on N64, Mark?
To be honest, I don't think I ever played through the story. Yeah, I strictly multiplayer, and it was dope.
It was. Was that
dope?
Yeah. It was great. I like the single player as well. Davis, Perfect Dark, returning, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
This gets absolutely 100% no-gasm. Wanna know why? Because it's only on Xbox, and Microsoft can go suck it. I hate them. I will never go back for them, and I will never advertise for that company. I really hate them, and it's only going to be on Xbox. And I really want to gasm this all over the place, just everywhere.
And, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rebrand this segment if you keep doing this.
And yeah, no, I really want to, because as a kid, before they ruined my life,
it's a buy or sell. It's not sexual. It's a buy or sell. It's a buy or sell.
I really love the.
Speaking of buying and selling, Microsoft, Xbox. Don't listen to this idiot. I'm happy to shill and or hawk whatever products you wish.
Yes.
Yeah, give it to that loser. He'll.
So you're
like
going
your
Nogasm.
Stupid console. Yeah. No, but I love the old story. I loved Perfect Dark, but sadly I cannot anymore.
Okay.
Nogasm.
Well,
James.
So sad.
Nogasm. Yeah, it's a very sad Nogasm there. All right. I don't know if you guys are big fans of Dead Space. I believe we talked about it a little bit on our horror video game episode. But Dead Space creator, there is a spiritual successor, the Callisto Protocol. The trailer looks incredible from where I sit, so I'm going to lead this one off. I'm going to say Nerdgasm. This looks like a terrific survival horror video game. I'm all about that action. I want to get more into whatever those offerings come our way. So Nerdgasm for that. For let's get scared playing video games. Davis, how about you? Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
This gets a spooky Nerdgasm.
Nice.
Because it's kind of like you're scared to have it. You're scared to have the gasm. So because you don't know what's going to happen.
It's a buy or sell. It's a buy or sell. It's just called Nerdgasm or Nogasm. Okay, you don't have to read into it any more than that.
Very into these survivor horror games lately as well. Been playing a lot of Alien Isolation, and this is going to get right. It's a little bit different from that for sure, but I love the original Dead Space, and if this is a spiritual successor, let's go. Let's get into it. Let's stream it. Let's scare each other. I'm into it.
Streaming it, yeah, definitely is something that came to mind as well. Is getting scared on stream and everything. This pro wrestler chick, she was streaming herself playing Until Dawn. I mean, I never watched her doing any of it, but I imagined it was cool. Mark, Nerdgasm or Nogasm for this survival horror game you got going, the Callisto Protocol? I know it's news to you, but
it is news to me because I'm unfamiliar with this. To all hell. I'm more of like the thriller guy. Like I like some survival horror stuff, but like Heavy Rain or Two Souls, things like games of that nature that are a little more thrillery are really fun. Sometimes horror games are scary. They scare me. Like Resident Evil 5, scary. So all the other games you mentioned, I don't even know. So I'm going to give it this big old Nogasm.
Nogasm. Okay.
I'm shooting nose out.
A Nogasm.
Nah, I'll give it a Nerdgasm. I like it.
Stop it, Mark. You don't have it, Mark. You don't have
I'm excited
to
for
everything.
You. I'm excited for James to have something.
I appreciate that, but you don't have to Nerdgasm everything. It's okay not to like stuff.
Nogasm,
okay.
Not interested.
Yeah, Nogasm.
Is there a sequel to Heavy Rain?
I'm sure if they're making a Perfect Dark sequel,
the Origami Killer, where's he at still?
Davis, did I miss anything from the video games that you wanted to bring up as we are going late into the evening here? And I think we're.
I would say I have a pretty good gasm for Left 4 Dead. Spiritual successor, Back 4 Blood.
Yeah, Back 4 Blood. That is the one that I wanted to bring up. Back 4 Blood.
It's a Nerdgasm, everyone. Because Left 4 Dead, one of my favorite co-op games of all time. So much fun playing that locally, online, especially locally with friends. It's just when those new zombies come out and you're just going wave after wave, especially at the end scene, you're trying to escape. It was so much fun. How much this will be just like that, who knows? But maybe it is just going to be just like it, just on a new gaming console, and it's going to look much prettier. So if that's the case, I'm fine with it because it's a ton of fun.
I definitely want to see you play that too. So I'm nerdgasming for that as well.
I would prefer not to play it with you because you're terrible.
I'm not terrible, and you barely ever even played with me. You're just continuing on with that sad.
I'm trying to read this sign.
That sad, pathetic trope. Yeah, well, I want to really inhabit the world that I'm trying to survive in. Like, if I don't understand the world, why would I even care if I lived or died? Mark, nerdgasm or nogasm for Back 4 Blood?
I'm going to throw this a nerdgasm because I'd love to, by happenstance, get to play it with some of you folks.
God, you're such a happy, jovial, drunk fellow, Mark. I love it.
Dude, Left 4 Dead, first of all, zombie survival horror 4-player. I thought that was pretty revolutionary when it came out. So you're going to play it on some new console with my boys? Let me play. I'll pick up a controller.
I agree.
Give it a whirl.
I like it. Yeah, so I mean, I know there were other announcements and everything like that, but let's try and press on here. And I think that whatever came out this week, we are going to have to circle back to again what we don't cover. But Disney had their 2020 Investor Day, and they dropped just a slew of Star Wars announcements, Marvel announcements, Indiana Jones announcements.
Yikes!
And just a whole slew of things. And actually, I even forgot to put one on the rundown, so we're going to start with that as I'm scrolling down here through my notes. The Disney Investor Day 2020 announced that Pixar will be doing a Toy Story prequel, Lightyear. A new animated film called Lightyear, connected to the Toy Story franchise. Origin story for Buzz Lightyear, charting his rise from test pilot to space ranger. It's directed by the Finding Dory co-director Angus MacLean. Stars Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz Lightyear, not Tim Allen, which I'm a huge Chris Evans guy. Nerdgasm or nogasm for Lightyear? Mark?
I mean, this is hard to digest because this is news to me. But I feel like if this is set in the world of Toy Story, how are you going to have a prequel about a character rising through the ranks of his persona if it's on the toys? Because Buzz Lightyear was Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, he was made as Buzz Lightyear. Yes.
And same thing, like Tim Allen's the voice of Buzz Lightyear. It should be Tim Allen's voice. Tim Allen sounds the same. Little known fact. So I don't know why. I mean, Chris Evans is great. Wish him all the best.
Mark, nerdgasm or nogasm?
Dude,
buy or sell?
It's too fresh of news to me. You know what? I'm going to give it a nerdgasm because I love Toy Story.
Everything you said was bad. Everything that you listed. Everything that you listed about the qualities of this story was that you didn't like it. And you said, just say nogasm, Mark. It's okay.
I can't speak ill of Toy Story. I love Toy Story.
Yes, you can.
I love it.
Because
the animated series of Buzz Lightyear was interesting, where they were in Star Command and all that. You know,
this is an absolute nogasm.
I just don't know where it's headed.
This is first of all, you know how well prequels usually go. Not great.
But all four Toy Stories have been great. They
should have never done Toy Story 4. They ended the story with 3 perfectly. They didn't need to go back. They didn't need to go back to the well again after part 3, and now they're doing a Lightyear prequel. I say nogasm. Also, no Tim Allen. Super nogasm. Davis, what about you? Nerdgasm or nogasm for this?
There is one part of this that defines my answer, and that is what you just mentioned. No Tim Allen. No Tim Allen, nogasm. All right? That is a nogasm. Wait, is Tim Allen too expensive these days? Why can't you get Tim Allen? He's not doing anything. Get Tim Allen. Just do it. I love Chris Evans, but why not Mr. Allen?
Yeah, I love Tim Allen too. Excuse me, I love Chris Evans too. But Tim Allen's the voice of Buzz Lightyear.
He's not like he's gone. He's still around.
Dude, he's around. He's doing stuff.
Yeah,
you ever see El Camino Christmas? Maybe one of his finest Christmas films.
Okay,
and he was Santa Claus for 3 movies.
There is a new Alien series. All right, Mark, we're moving on here. A new Alien series. This came out of that same Investor Day, coming to FX. The series is set on Earth. It's going to blend the sort of horror of the first Alien film with the action of the second. A Alien TV series on FX. Davis, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
Man, this is tough because I do think the well has run dry with Alien. However, I love my sci-fi. And I love xenomorphs. And I think as long as there's no predator involved, and this is just focused on the xenomorphs and that type of action, I think I'm going to gasm on this. I think I'm going to hit that nerdgasm button and be all over this. So, it's a nerdgasm, James.
You got to give it more like the Doombot one. That's what we like. That's what the people liked.
That's only reserved for certain good ones.
Okay.
There's different levels of gasming.
Mark, Nerdgasm or Nogasm? Alien TV series.
Nerdgasm. Yes, absolutely. I need more sci-fi shows. I love Aliens and James Cameron. So, Nerdgasm. Let me see it. I want it stretched out.
You mean Ridley Scott?
I want James Cameron.
I'm gonna spoil this for you.
It's not an Avatar TV series.
Yeah, neither of them are going to be a part
I want
of this.
the Na'vi. Okay. They're aliens.
I'm going Nerdgasm on this as well. And I do agree with you, Davis, that the Alien well has been pretty, tapped, and with some mixed results. I mean, Prometheus was just absolutely god awful. But I don't know, something about a Xenomorph series I think could be really good. So I'm giving this a tentative Nerdgasm. I'm buying this. I'm into it. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy, soon to be ousted. Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy confirmed.
I thought she was ousted.
No, it's not confirmed yet, but she's on her way out.
Yeah, we broke that news.
Well, we helped propagate that rumor, that is for sure. Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that Indiana Jones 5 is in pre-production planning for a 2022 release, and that this will be the final film to feature Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Nerdgasm or Nogasm? I'm going to start. I'm going to say Nogasm to this. And I love Indiana Jones and I love Harrison Ford, but Crystal Skull was absolutely awful. And I don't think the track record of, lately, I don't know. I guess there is no trust like I have the trust in the Mass Effect game to wash out the bad taste of what you didn't like about 3. I don't have the same level of trust here that they're going to be able to right the wrongs of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in the same way. I hope it's good. I will probably, see it, and I am rooting for the best. But, damn it, Harrison Ford's old. And I want this to be really good, but it's getting a Nogasm for me, and that sucks to say because I do love Indiana Jones very much. So that being said, gives us a perfect reason in 2022 to do an Indiana Jones episode. Nogasm, though. Mark, what about you?
I'm giving this a big old Nerdgasm. I'm interested. I like James.
You were going to say James Bond, weren't you?
I was going to say James.
Or
I just
James
like
Cameron
you, James.
again.
No, I like Harrison Ford. I like Indiana Jones. But I got to know. I got questions. Where's Shia LaBeouf? Where's Sean Patrick Flannery? These guys should make a movie together. And I think good opportunity here. Especially if you're going to pass off the mantle.
I don't want him to pass off the mantle.
Dude, why not?
Just
Let's
let
see some
it
new
die.
adventures.
Let it.
He was an adventurer.
Leave it alone.
He was an adventurer.
They should have left it alone with Last Crusade. Davis, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
This is a sad nerdgasm, and it's
sad nerdgasm.
It's very sad. Oh, I'm sorry, sad nogasm. Did I say nerdgasm? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, sad, very sad because
just going through the throes
because of the individual involved. Kathleen Kennedy has done nothing for me that has been very good, and if she's behind this, I have very little expectations that it has any chance of being good. And it's just, I once I heard that she was involved, I lost interest. Harrison Ford being old, okay, maybe he can play like the Sean Connery role in Indy 3 for like a younger, but that's what we thought we were going to get in Crystal Skull, and that was just awful. So I just, there's nothing good about this in my mind.
I mean, I love Harrison Ford. I love Indiana Jones. I want it to be good, but that trust level is not there with this. And I don't think it necessarily will be as bad as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but will it be good enough to make up for that? I don't know. So yeah, 2 nogasms and a nerdgasm there. All right, let's move to the Marvel side of things. And we will start with the Fantastic Four. A movie is being confirmed that Fantastic Four is officially in development now at Marvel Studios with the Spider-Man Homecoming John Watts attached to direct. Nerdgasm or nogasm, Davis?
You gotta give this some nerdgasm! Wanna know why?
That's what the people want.
Yeah, because the Doombot might be attached to it. Because maybe we won't get Doom in the first movie back for Fantastic Four, and we shouldn't. We should be introduced to Victor Von Doom, but he should not be Doctor Doom in the first one. Hopefully they do this right. They build him up correctly. They do some other Fantastic Four villain, and they save Doom. Save Doom for like the third movie in the trilogy. Build him up because he deserves that. I am very excited for the Fantastic Four to hopefully be done correctly. I was never a huge fan of them, but just from a comics perspective, but I think the group has a lot of potential, and it just hasn't been done right. And in the right hands, I have good thoughts, but hopefully we'll see what happens.
Mark, before we kick it over to you, I'm going to jump in here and say that, yes, this is a nerdgasm solely for the fact that I really do enjoy the Fantastic Four quite a bit. The Marvel Action Hour cartoon, the Fantastic Four, was a favorite of mine growing up, despite its short-livedness. I love the group. I think they're underrated when it comes to super groups, and they're talked about. So I'm saying nerdgasm. However, I'm a little disappointed, if you've kept up with the news about all these Marvel series and Disney Plus series that they're going to be doing. We'll be talking about a few of those. I think the Fantastic Four is a terrific choice to be one of those series. We're getting Winter Soldier and Falcon, we're getting Loki, we're getting WandaVision. Why can't Fantastic Four, which I think just really works in that sort of series setting, why can't we get that? I just think it's so perfect, and you can explain away where they've been and everything like that. They've been time traveling, man. They've been lost in time and space, and that's where you can start. They're back in ancient Greece for a season. They're wherever, there's so many cool, just off the wall things that the Fantastic Four can explore because Reed Richards is such a super genius. And I was talking about this with some people in terms of they're gonna have to explain how come this super genius existed, in the world, and didn't interact with Tony Stark and Banner and stuff like that. And I don't think they really need to. I have my own issues with how they portrayed, some of the intellect powerhouses in the MCU. But I just think the Fantastic Four would be perfect for a series. So when I saw the news, I was hoping that maybe that's what we would be getting. I hope they do it right. We have not really gotten a great adaptation of the Fantastic Four on screen yet, but I'm hopeful that we will here. So it's getting a nerdgasm. I just think it's a missed opportunity, not making it a really fun series that I think they could be. Mark, what about you?
I'm going to throw out a hard Nogasm. I mean, will I see it? Of course. But it's not going to be a rush by any means. I just, the other movies were not great, not enticing. Fantastic Four in general is never really hard for me. Never really gets me there, And I agree with you. I feel like it should be a series of them doing hijinks in space and traveling and having fantastic adventures, right? And get more of that interplay between the group and their own family unit and build that up over the length of a season versus trying to cram something in where we really care about these 4 characters all at once.
Yeah.
I agree with that full-heartedly. And if you do like space adventures like that, you should check out DC's Legends of Tomorrow on the CW. Huh?
I'm good, thank you, Mark. You
kind of like that. They travel in time and stuff.
We're so close every time, and they. However, I do have to say, you're no-gasming this, but you nerdgasm that terrible Lightyear prequel. Even though everything you said about the Lightyear prequel sounded like you hated the idea.
He doesn't have any gasms.
The thing is,
you're an onion.
Toy Story has released 4 movies, all of them gems. All of them. Fantastic Four has had 3, none of them. None. So, I mean, let's just follow the track record right now. All right? Nogasm on this.
Yeah, but now it's Marvel Studios, which, means things.
So we'll get like a Spider-Man and an Iron Man popping by?
Great point, Mark, and something that we will be talking 100%. About in a moment.
Probably in like a Stark shuttle going to space.
This next one might be a little testier to discuss, and please, I preface this by meaning no disrespect whatsoever intended, but it was also announced that Black Panther, the character of Black Panther, will not be recast. Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa will not be recast following Chadwick Boseman's death earlier this year. And I talked about in the preamble, it's terribly tragic what happened. He was so incredibly young. And Kevin Feige had this to say: "I wanted to acknowledge the devastating loss of a dear friend and member of the Marvel Studios family. Chadwick Boseman was an immensely talented actor and an inspirational individual who affected all of our lives professionally and personally. His portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. It's for that reason that we will not recast the character. However, to honor the legacy that Chad helped us build through his portrayal of the King of Wakanda, we want to continue to explore the world of Wakanda and all of the rich and varied characters introduced in the first film." Okay, so were we buying or selling the fact that we're not ever going to recast T'Challa, Black Panther in this MCU? I think the sentiment there about what Chadwick meant is very heartfelt and well said by Kevin Feige. However, when he says his portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends the iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past, I take a little bit of umbrage with that, and sort of like, so because this horrible tragedy happened, the fans of this character for years and years that finally were so excited to see him on the big screen don't get to have that anymore. I'm saying nogasm to that. Obviously, don't rush into recasting him right away. You got to give it time. But I think it's incredibly short-sighted to say we're not going to recast T'Challa when we are just sort of scratching the surface of what could be the Black Panther film franchise in the MCU. So I'm saying nogasm to that. Mark, what about you?
I just don't. Yeah, I don't know the reality of never bringing that character back. A character that has such a long-standing history can never be brought back. And I mean, we're talking comic books here; they always come back. In that regard. I just don't know how the MCU, everything's tied together, how long that can really sustain and last for actual consumer consumption, to where you had to have seen all these other things first. I just don't know the reality of that. Do they need to do it now? Absolutely not. I think that would be incredibly insensitive and not pertinent to do. And there are other great stories from the world and other characters you can explore, but such a definitive statement, I think, just sets them up as a company to break their own word down the road. And it seems
that's a good point.
Disingenuous. I guess. I don't know. Like there's something weird there. I'm in no rush by any means.
Am I incredibly sad by the fact that Chadwick Boseman died? Yes. It was very tragic. He was way too young. Do I want to see T'Challa portrayed again in a Marvel movie? Yes, I do. So I just think it's kind of, like you said, it's setting them up to break their own world. Davis, where do you come down?
It's a Nogasm for me as well. And I think it's very short-sighted on Disney and Marvel to take this character away that means so much to a young black population and how much they look up to this character. And yes, it's incredibly sad. He was a great guy. He was a great man in general. And I don't think that he would want that character to not be portrayed and do so much for what it did for young fans. It's like when somebody close to you passes away and you're sitting there mourning and not going forward in your life, and you think about what they would want, what's best for you. And that's what I think about with Chadwick Boseman is he wouldn't want this character to just not happen. He wants it to continue because he wants a young black population to feel strong and empowered. And what this character did so much for that generation, he would want that to continue. And for Disney not to continue that is, I think it's a little weak on their part, because I don't think they want to deal with the PR of it, of if they do cast somebody quickly. And I think honestly, it would be good for a lot of people.
Yeah, whatever the timeline is, I think that's well said, and I think we covered that pretty well. And again, we mean no disrespect to Chadwick Boseman, but the T'Challa character, I don't think is done on the big screen yet, and so I think it's you're gonna have to revisit that, and I want to see more of the definitive Black Panther character from the comic books in the movies, and I know other characters have taken up the mantle and stuff like that, and Dick Grayson Batman's fine, but I like Bruce Wayne Batman. So that's what I want. That's what I really want to see on the big screen. And so I think there's a classy way of going about it and recasting T'Challa that would really work. And I don't think that we've gotten enough from the character on the big screen that it's like, oh, well, we couldn't possibly do this again. We couldn't. No, I think it's a little bit much. All right. So news from this also confirmed that Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, will be connecting to Spider-Man 3 because, of course. But that sort of is coming. Hold on, I'm getting there. This is where the Nerdgasm or Nogasm comes in, because we got a lot of news, and it makes sense, because when you get the news that Alfred Molina is coming back in Spider-Man 3 or Iron Spider 3 if it's a Marvel MCU world, to reprise his role as Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2. Also, Jamie Foxx is coming back to reprise his role of Electro. Andrew Garfield is coming back as well. Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone expected, Tobey Maguire expected. So we're getting this big Spider-Verse. All these people coming back to reprise what they did in the past. I know a lot of people are excited about Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina, returning to play him. Nerdgasm or Nogasm? Mark, you're rolling your eyes over there.
I think the Spider-Verse is cool, and I like that these people get to come back and share their characters that we love them for. But come fucking on, plowed ground as it is. We've already had a really cool Spider-Verse film recently, and we had a great Spider-Verse when it originated by John Semper back in the animated series in the 90s. And
Also
for us to make this such a focus now for the movies, there's so much we haven't done with Spider-Man that we have to do a Spider-Verse now. I mean, we just had Spider-Verse the animated series, which was a big success recently and has basically influenced everything they're doing in comic books now. Now we got to do another live action on it again just to continue tying it up. Like, just do something new.
It's just like the Dark Phoenix with X-Men. They just can't get away from it now. They've done so well with it on the animated movie, and it's now that much into pop culture that they think they have to force it in now into live action, and it's too much. It's go a different route.
So you're saying it
sounds a tad cash grabby, Disney, but I mean, that is what the mouse wants. So yeah, I'm kind of giving a Nogasm. I will watch it. Yes, of course I will. I mean,
fuck you, Mark.
yeah, like take my money, okay. But also, I'm kind of like, it's kind of disappointing me as a fan, like I'm being taken advantage of.
The only thing that I will say, I mean, look, Alfred Molina coming back to play Dr. Octopus is cool. Like this whole, awesome. I think the idea of Tobey Maguire coming back to be Spider-Man again,
yes.
that's a nerdgasm for me because I thought he was great, and I have not enjoyed the MCU editions of Spider-Man because they are sick in their bones with Tony Stark Iron Man, and with nary a mention of Uncle Ben or the real underpinning of the character or anything that matters to who Spider-Man is as a hero. Everything has had to revolve around Tony Stark and the hashtag it's all connected, and it's been bad, honestly. And so I am sort of excited to get maybe that actual Spider-Man type feel again through this multiverse, but it does sound like, I mean, it's going to be a tall order. So I'm also giving this, it's hard because Alfred Molina gets a nerdgasm. Dr. Octopus gets a nerdgasm. Tobey Maguire gets a nerdgasm. They all get a nerdgasms. This movie though, and how Spider-Man's been done in the MCU so far, Nogasm. And I stand by it.
So does this mean we'll finally get like a Miles Morales on screen?
I think
live
so,
action
yes.
then?
I think so, yes, which is a nerdgasm for a lot of people as he's such a fan favorite. So I think and this could maybe spin off. My hope is that maybe this could right the wrongs of the first two Iron Spider movies that MCU did, but we shall see. Okay, and there's a ton more with the Marvel stuff, and we could go on all night. The last one I want to do before I get into the Star Wars things is we watched that Loki trailer before we started tonight. The Loki series, Nerdgasm or Nogasm, Davis.
It's a Nerdgasm. I love Loki. And this is the Loki from Avengers Endgame that, disappeared and is now time traveling, it looks like. Is with, I forget who it is, the TKA, the TVA, I forget which one it is. I don't know much about that storyline from the comics, but it just looks fun. He's DB Cooper, he's going all over the place. There's a lot of things in that trailer that just seem like a good, fun ride. Whereas with something with WandaVision, I don't know what the hell that is. I want nothing to do with that. So give me Loki, and I'll run with that one.
Mark?
I didn't get any of what you got out of that trailer. I have a Nogasm on this. I didn't see anything. Like I saw parts of Endgame, and I was like, cool. And then it's like, oh, well, he goes somewhere. Great. And then, oh, hey, look, it's Owen Wilson. All right. After that, I don't know what the fuck I saw. It was just montages of music and Hiddleston like running around. Like I got
what a trailer is.
But like it wasn't enticing. It's just like cool. It's Loki like holding something. It's Loki doing something. None of it looked intriguing. Like
I'm with Mark. So one of the first like breaking with party line on the MCU was this Loki worship that popped out. I mean, people just like were falling all over themselves about Loki. And yes, Tom Hiddleston has done a good job. But there was this sort of idea out there. It's like, oh God, like Loki's the only good villain that the MCU has ever done. And he's like the best villain ever been done. And it's just, yeah, he was good. it was just this overrating of Tom Hiddleston playing Loki that and also that he must be involved in every possible, Thor movie or Thor thing that we do is okay, no. And also the trailer just really wasn't that exciting. I like Tom Hiddleston. I like Owen Wilson. Wow. But this got a Nogasm from me as well. Although, did we see a Black Widow in the Soul Stone there?
I think we did. I think there was a Black Widow. There might have been Kang coming to light.
Yeah,
I think it might be the introduction.
Nogasm though. We're getting this as a series, but you can't give me a Fantastic Four series. Nogasm.
Maybe if Loki travels to the Ultraverse where he rightfully belongs, and we finally get a adventure there with all of our fan favorites of Hardcase and Prime and Prototype and stuff like that, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would also like to point out how quick Mark is to Nogasm on any Marvel properties in their films. But if we were doing this sort of the DC reveals, it'd just be nerdgasming left and right for Mark. So
we need somebody.
Like to point out.
We need somebody in the nerdosphere to tally up the scores.
Dude,
Mark's nerdgasm.
Good comic book properties is like pornography. I know it when I see it. All right.
We are 45 minutes into this Nerdgasm or Nogasm segment, by the way, and we are just now getting to the Star Wars stuff, and we haven't even touched on everything that I wanted to this evening. So, but we got a lot of Star Wars news as well. So we'll start with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney Plus. Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's kind of a two-parter. You can Nerdgasm or Nogasm that. And then Hayden Christensen being announced that he is going to be reprising his role as Anakin/Darth Vader in this series for Disney Plus. Nerdgasm or Nogasm, Davis?
It's a Nerdgasm! And I wish everyone could see Mark's face as you read the news, because he has no idea any of this is happening.
It's news to him.
Awesome.
It's news to me.
But no, I love the Obi-Wan character, and Ewan was so good. I loved him, and of course you got to have Hayden come back and keep it coming.
Marco, what say you?
I knew there was going to be an Obi-Wan series, so Nerdgasm, Ewan McGregor, fantastic. Nerdgasm, I think he deserves more.
So buy or sell.
I'm throwing out a Nerdgasm. I got a Nerdgasm on this. Man, that Hayden Christensen reappearance, that's news to me. And I'm less intrigued. I'm kind of less intrigued because I don't actually see him as Vader.
Of course not. Because he's not.
He's definitely like I don't know. Like,
I have no personal axe to grind with Hayden Christensen. I am
Takers, great film.
Ewan McGregor did in terms of the prequels and stuff like that, probably did the best job of filling the shoes of what the promise of Star Wars prequels should be. He was a good Obi-Wan and filling in admirably for the superior Sir Alec Guinness. But I am tentatively optimistic about this series. However, Hayden Christensen coming to the role gets a Nogasm from me, not because I dislike him, but because it's just I'm working on Mandalorian is working on softening my heart and stuff like that towards the prequels, and I don't judge them as harshly, but I'm not running back and going to rewrite history and act like that they were this great thing either. They weren't. And there were a lot of issues with them. I hope this is great, but it's getting a Nogasm from me right now. I'm not going to suddenly act like just because it's, however many years old now and then it's nostalgic. Me being disappointed in those movie theaters is now nostalgic is not going to get a Nerdgasm from me. So that's a Nogasm on that. However, Mando's working on me though. We had a midichlorian reference in this season and I didn't even freak out. So
I did.
I'm growing. I'm growing. The Rogue One prequel is going to be called Andor. It's going to be following, of course, Cassian Andor, a prequel series on Disney Plus. we all know how prequels go, as earlier stated in this episode, and we, as I just stated, know how sometimes Star Wars prequels go. So I'm saying no gasm to this. Rogue One, other than the stupid Death Star flaw being built in, which lessened Luke's accomplishment, Rogue One I thought was really, really good. I don't need a prequel series, though, about the Cassian Andor character or any of these other characters. While I really enjoyed them in their place in Rogue One, this just seems like straight out of the book of bad ideas. I'm going no-gasm. Davis, what about you?
I don't know why they're doing this. This is an absolute no-gasm. Like, I'm not even trying to gasm at this point. Like, it's just no. Why? Like, Rogue One I got, and I really liked. But I have no reason whatsoever to need more from those characters. Like, they 100% serve their purpose. I don't need anything else. No, thank you. Go on. Bye-bye.
I know how Mark's going to weigh in on this, but just for the sake of doing it, Mark, nerdgasm or no-gasm?
No-gasm. This is probably the worst Star Wars film to ever come out. I don't need to learn more about these shit characters. It sounds awful. I am not watching. I'm not even giving this the no-gasm, but I'm interested. I'll watch it. No, fuck you. I don't want this.
I'd like to point out that Mark
Coming in hard.
Mark was absolutely hammered when he watched Rogue One, so he doesn't really
I've watched
know
it
what happened.
multiple times, and I should have been in the best state of mind because I've been drinking and having a good night. But you know what? It sucked. It sucked. Rogue One sucked. The characters all sucked. It's a travesty what happened.
You were rancid, Mark. You're rancid.
Right. A lot of people died that day. It was a travesty.
They were better as faceless martyrs.
God, there's so many. I feel like I can't do this nerdgasm or no-gasm because Mark isn't watching The Mandalorian. But we're gonna bring up The Acolyte. It's a mystery series. It's a female-driven series, rather, set in the High Republic era. The Acolyte. Nerdgasm or no-gasm? I'll say nerdgasm because we're exploring a completely different time period in the Star Wars universe, which is exciting to me, and not dealing with sort of the Skywalker saga and everything like that. That has appealed to me. So I'm gonna say nerdgasm for this. Look at me being on board with more Star Wars. My congregation's gonna flip their lid, but shh, don't tell them. Davis, nerdgasm or no-gasm?
Before I answer, the High Republic, what time is that? So, like, how many years before the originals?
Oh, I would imagine, like, centuries.
Okay, great. I can answer Nerdgasm because I am on board with you because it's a different time period. There's different things going on. I would love to see something from that KOTOR era, even if it's after it, which it might be. Yeah, I think just different characters and then different scenery, kind of technology, maybe back in those days. That'd be kind of cool to see.
So the High Republic is a sub-era of the Age of the Republic, 200 years before the events of the Skywalker saga, 800 years after the fall of the Old Republic.
Okay.
So it's 200.
Still sounds interesting, but I know nothing about that era, so which still interests me. So.
Yeah, it's again completely different from the Skywalker saga and stuff like that. I mean, there might be certain strings that can sort of be attached there. I'm
They'll
sure
string
they miss no opportunity to do that. Mark, nerdgasm or no-gasm?
Give this one a big old nerdgasm. I like anything that can expand on the lore, especially new lore, new characters doing their own thing. Like, I think that's what was so beautiful in KOTOR is it was familiar, yet so far removed from what was going on that it can really invest you into the story that was happening. There's nothing shoehorned in, so to speak. So if we're going to a totally different era, which I don't know much about the High Council era or
High Republic.
High Republic. So give it in. Let's really do it, especially if it's like a different kind of thing. It's like a mystery sort of ordeal. Like,
No. That it's just nobody. It was nobody.
It's a
knew
big
what
mystery as to what it is.
Yeah.
It's the High Republic. So they're just
I wanted it to be a mystery show.
I mean, it still could be. We don't know. All right. They announced a Lando Calrissian show too. I'm saying no-gasm to that. I don't need. It's like I say about the young Han Solo movie. We got a young Han Solo movie. It was called Star Wars. I don't need this to be fleshed out anymore. He was fine as he was. I feel like the meddling will only ruin it. Nerdgasm or Nogasm, Mark?
You know, I'm going to give it a Nogasm, not as enticed. I loved Solo. I thought it was a great film, and I loved that Lando was a prominent role in that film, and I like that. And I thought that added enough extra. Fuck you. I thought that added enough extra character development for the Lando character. I just don't know if I need a whole show for it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a Nogasm. I don't need a full-on Lando movie. I don't even think I need a full.
It's an event series. I don't even know what that means.
That's even longer.
Oh,
that's
like if you just wanted a show that was like on Bespin and treated it like Battlestar Galactica.
Hear me out. What if it's
on Bespin?
What if it's The Office in Cloud City?
Yeah, this I'm interested in. This I'm interested in.
Lando,
it's like a lot of like Lobots, like Dwight Schrute, you know. He's the assistant to the Tabana gas mining manager. So, Davis, you said Nogasm though on this.
Nogasm. He's a side character. He's a great side character. Let's keep him that way.
Yeah, I completely agree. I loved Jay Peterman in Seinfeld, but he didn't need his own series.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one before we get into potential Mando territory. Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman. She is directing Star Wars Rogue Squadron. They did a little tease reveal for that, and this is getting a big old Nerdgasm from me because the way she even set it up, she talked about how her dad was a fighter pilot and, he gave his life for this country and everything like that, and how she always wanted to sort of honor his memory and create like a really badass fighter pilot movie. And she's just talking about this, not alluding to anything Star Wars until she busts out the orange pilot jumpsuit and walks towards an X-Wing that you had previously not seen on camera. Big time Nerdgasm. I love Star Wars pilots, gold leader, red leader, the dude in Rogue One, I believe blue leader, he's like a flying ace. Like these Star Wars pilots have always had extreme appeal to me. So a Rogue Squadron movie, big time Nerdgasm. I'm in. Mark, what about you?
Nerdgasm, absolutely. Cannot wait. This is news to me, and I am super excited for it. Rogue Squadron is one of the best things in the EU out there. I think the pilots, you nailed it. That's such a strong affinity, I think, for a lot of Star Wars fans, is all that interpersonal connectivity you got to those side characters in the cockpit views and things like that, especially with it being space battles and it's all one-man ships for the most part going out there and risking their lives. So put Patty on the project. I think she does a wonderful job. I mean, you saw how she treated Steve Trevor. Fantastic. So, I mean, I think she knows a thing or two about pilots, and I want to see some Wedge Antilles. So let's do it.
Yeah, big Nerdgasm. Davis, what about you?
This is like a light Nerdgasm, like Nerdgasm light.
Got the job done.
I just
so you're minorly investing, you're minorly buying in this buy or sell environment.
There's a small investment on small returns because Rogue Squadron, the pilots are cool. What are we doing here? Let's make it a comedy. Let's just have them joke about how.
No, because we're already
Jedis
doing The Office on Cloud City. We're already doing the comedy in Cloud City.
Let's extend that here. Just not do Lando. Do The Office, but with Rogue Squadron.
No, this is going to be great. I don't get how. I mean, I hope it's going to be great. I would like to point out how optimistic I am for so many things.
James likes stuff.
Yeah, everyone. Let's all point out
and
to
that's
James.
News to me.
That's news to everyone, good friend.
All right, I lied. We got another Star Wars one we got to do. Disney Plus developing an R2-D2 and C-3PO animated adventure, A Droid Story. Nerdgasm or Nogasm? A C-3PO and R2-D2 animated adventure story, A Droid Story. Nerdgasm or Nogasm? Mark, we'll start with you.
I thought we've already seen this, so kind of Nogasm. I mean, I feel like we're getting a lot of other cool droids out there. If you want to do a droid mini serial and stuff like that, that's fine. C-3PO and R2-D2 have shepherded in a lot of things for Star Wars and have really been backburnered. I feel like in the recent, it's kind of like, let's go back.
What are you talking about? They were in it too much.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not. I mean, the old droid cartoons were cool. You know, the holiday special was great with them introducing Boba Fett. But it's not something I'm jonesing for, so yeah, Nogasm.
Davis?
For me, that's a Nogasm. For the kiddos, I'm going to say that's probably a Nerdgasm. I think the kiddos are going to like it quite a bit. So, good for them. But for me, I don't think that's for our demographic.
I think that's a great point. It's getting a Nogasm from me, but I'll check it out and see what it's like. I'll wait for people in the Discord to weigh in on it, but it's not something on the forefront of my mind that I want to check out with everything. No spite, no malice, but it just not really moving my needle at this moment. However,
it's a by yourself, James, not.
Yeah, that moving needle isn't necessarily what you think it is, Davis. It's like a cross, but anyway. And finally, The Mandalorian is getting not one, but 2 spinoffs, at least 2. Star Wars Ahsoka and Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic. Of course, Star Wars Ahsoka, pretty self-explanatory that it'll be following her. But with what happened in Mando, Mark, you're going to want to earmuff it for this. Because there's going to be some serious news to you, but with Grand Admiral Thrawn being referenced, you can assume that he will be sort of a focal point of that series. So that's a big old nerdgasm from me for Thrawn live action, and then the other one is Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic, which is rumored to be a Cara Dune spinoff. And I love the Cara Dune character. And as we close tonight, Davis, you've watched the most recent episode, so we're going to talk a little Mando. But what say you, Nerdgasm or Nogasm to these spinoffs?
I will a Nerdgasm for Ahsoka because of Thrawn. I do like Ahsoka. If we can get more Thrawn in that series, I'll be stoked. I just don't think we're going to get too much of Thrawn and Mando. I think he's going to be kind of an off-screen type, might be shown once or twice. I don't think he's going to be a big bad ever. I think he's just going to kind of be this figure in the back, and then this other series is going to take care of that. So that's exciting. That's great. Cara Dune, no. I know you like her, but she's a great side character like Lando. I do not need this Ranger aspect. Cool. Keep spinning off these series. Some will hit, some won't. I could care less about that.
I'm saying Nerdgasm to both, although I do want to keep Cara Dune involved in the Mandalorian show proper. Because I do think she's such a great character and member of that team. So if I had my way, I would just have her be a permanent fixture. I'm shipping her and Jin. Like I want her and the Mando to be an item. Like I love them. That's what I'm shipping. And I love Gina Carano. I think she has fit into that Cara Dune role perfectly. I think her, Carl Weathers is Grief Karga. They're just two of my favorites. I love all these side characters in The Mandalorian. So yes, I would be sad to see them go, and I would be sad to see her show not be a success. It does feel like maybe a little bit too much too soon. But that being said, her character is really awesome, and they could maybe explore some interesting avenues, in particular with what happened in this episode, because we revisited. Have you watched
today?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you haven't watched this one?
No.
Well, that's news to me. Well, she's in this episode. Spoiler alert, Davis. I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, that's all you know. That's all I gave away. That's all I gave away. And to think, I gave Mark a pass. I said go to bed because we're gonna be talking about the Mandalorian.
This is day of. Give me a 24 hours, bro. Come on,
dude, man, we're a podcast, bro. We got.
I got work and shit.
We're the best damn nerd show, dude. I got COVID tested, and while I was waiting for my results, I was watching it on my laptop, dude. It was great. It was awesome on company time.
When you come into a show thinking you're talking Wonder Woman and you spend your time watching that movie, you don't have as much time to watch other things, James.
I let you guys know this morning. I gave you plenty of time. I gave you plenty of notice. And that only came out on Friday, today, when we were recording a little peek behind the curtain. Well, Mando is great. So I'm going to let you go watch it right now and play your Cyberdong game. But this episode of The Mandalorian, big time nerdgasms, and God, some
more so than the last two.
This one hit me really hard, dude. Like there's some great lines. There is some. Yeah, you're gonna love this one, Davis. And it got me thinking about possible cosplays in the future too.
Ooh.
So. And just the close of this episode is maybe my favorite of the whole series. So check that out. Get into it. That is going to do it for this edition of the Best Damn Nerd Show. I look forward to discussing bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord if you wish to get in on the discussion with us here. Follow us on Twitter at the BDNS. Have a great week, everyone. Remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud.
Hey, everyone. Chris Seglia, CEO of the 10 Media Network here. Thank you so much for listening to our content, but we need your help. Please rate us 5 stars, subscribe, and give us a shining review wherever you listen to this podcast. It really, really helps us out. And one more thing, please tell a friend if you can. Tell them Tasty Steve, Hanzo Gonzo, Markman, Rip, Ricky Replay, or someone who everyone loves sent you or something. That might help. Anyway, again, thank you for listening. And if you want more, make sure to check us out at www.ten-o.gg. www.10o.gg.